This is something that I need to talk about because this is something people need to understand. When you are buying a house, right? And I'm gonna tell a couple stories about my situation and stuff I've been through. When you're buying a house, you have to understand that you first of all you got to understand budget. Your budget should not. My advice, just my advice. I'm not a real estate professional. I'm just a person that studied a lot of different scenarios in this thing, right? Your budget should not be the loan amount that you got approved for. That should not be your budget. Your budget should be far lower than that. If they approve you for $200,000, go shopping for houses that cost $150,000. Like, don't ever max out your freaking loan value. Just don't do that. Okay. Now, let me look at my little list because I have some stuff that I need to tell y'all. Let me tell you about my first time trying to buy a house. 2010, I hired a realtor in Virginia, right? I hired a realtor in Virginia. I got approved. Now this is 2000. Like I said, 2010. Everything was like dirt cheap at that time because this is coming off of the subprime lending thing. This is coming off the predatory loans stuff. So everything was super cheap in Virginia right then. So they approved me for $100,000, right? But I'm telling the lady, I'm like, I don't want to spend that. I'm telling the realtor. I hired a realtor lady. I think it was Keller Williams. So I'm like, I want to spend like 50. So I show her houses that I had seen on realtor.com. I'm like, I want to go look at these houses. It was like 30,000, 40,000. Like it wasn't nothing really at 50,000. I just said, I don't want to spend more than 50. I was really looking way lower than 50. But so I'm showing them like, yo, let's go look at these houses. Well, we go look at a couple but she keep on sending me houses that cost like $100,000 though. So I'm like, I ain't feeling it. So now this is me as an inexperienced person. I didn't really know what options I had, right? Because I felt like I was stuck. I asked the lady herself. I asked her, how can I get out of this agreement with us? Like, I don't even want to buy a house no more. I told her that straight up. I said, how can I get out of this? I don't want to do this. Because, when you get somebody to represent you in real estate, you sign a contract with them. So I was like, how can I end this? I don't want to do this no more. And she just straight up told me like, I could send you the paperwork. We can pretty much, I fired her. And I fired her as an inexperienced person. I didn't even know you could fire a real estate agent, but that's something I need y'all to know that you can do. You can fire them if if they showing you stuff that you don't want, or you told them what you want and they keep showing you other stuff, you can fire them. Tell them you don't have to be like you fired. You just say, hey, I want to terminate this agreement. It's not working out. But the lady told me like, yeah, you can sign this thing and like, we'll end this partnership, whatever. So boom, fired her. And I went over to Prudential, and that first one was a white lady. I went over Prudential, and then I got with this older middle-aged black man. And the first house that we went to was the house that I told y'all about before that I got for $63,000 in a bidding war. I went $4,000 over asking. So that was the first house we went to. It was perfect for me. He got it. And then at the closing table, I got money back. So now that's for me to tell y'all that you can fire a real estate agent if they're not doing what you, and you don't have to waste no months with them or no long time. If you could tell that your vibe is not meshing with them at all, don't even waste your time or their time anymore. Just tell them, thank you for what you've done, but I don't want to do this no more. It's not working. Right. And you don't even have to have you don't have to have a reason that seems good to them. For any reason that you don't want to work with them anymore, you can let them go. Okay. So keep that in mind. Now, another thing I want us as buyers to not do, to get out of the mindset of buying a house is not a dream type of thing. It's not a perfect type of thing. It's not unless you're a rich person and you have all the options that you can do anything in the world that you want to do. If you're a regular working class citizen, get dream home out of your mind. And I'm sorry I had to say it like that for the people that never bought a house. Get dream house, get it out of your mind. See, a lot of people think about buying a house from top down, meaning like, let me make my list of things that that like let me just do this whole list of things that I want in the house. What you really should be doing when you're buying a house, minimum requirements. It's like a job. You should be doing minimum requirements. If you need 3 bedrooms and 2 baths and you want a yard, that should be the make or break for you. The make or break shouldn't be, I walked in the house, man, they got green carpet up in here, man. I don't want to like green carpet. That's a lot to deal with. Don't do that. Don't like get dream house out of your head. Remove it. And the reason I'm saying what I'm saying right now is because I need us to understand how important still home ownership is. And I need us to understand still why so many people are not owning, even though they can probably afford to own. It's mostly because they in their head about some dream house. That's a lot of people are in their head about a dream house. And I'm telling you, there's millions and millions and millions of millionaires in this country. It's because of the home they own. It's because of the equity in the house that they own. These are not people with a bunch of businesses and nothing like that. They work a regular job and they have a house that's worth something. That's it. That's why homeowner, the sooner you get in, the sooner you be on the path to increasing your value as a citizen, or your monetary value as a citizen, your net worth, right? Get dream house out of your mind. Put your minimum requirements down. Tell your realtor your minimum requirements. And I'm not saying that you need to just go out and just go fixer upper and all that. I'm saying that for the most part, you're not finding a perfect house. Unless you build it yourself, you're not finding a perfect house. And that's not even a problem. Like most of the time when you get a house, even if it's brand new and you designed it, you probably going to change something in there. So get that dream house thing out there. Minimum requirements. I need backyard because I got a dog. I got 2 kids, so I need 3 bedrooms, and I need 2 guest bedrooms, and I need 1 master or primary suite, whatever you want to call it. And I need 2 bathrooms. I need a 1 bathroom in our master, and I need a bathroom in the hallway for the kids. Like, that's the type of, you know what I'm saying? You don't say, I'm looking for a house with an island. Islands are cool. Like, I like islands. But to go shopping and make a deal breaker be this house doesn't have an island and you're not rich, you're setting yourself up to not find a house at all. And that's not to say islands are hard to find. I'm just giving you an example of something that small should not be in the way. It should not be an obstacle to you becoming a homeowner, is what I'm trying to say. It shouldn't be, man, this deck is not big enough. No. I'm sorry to say it like this. No. Get that out your head, man. I think that is so vital right now for people to own homes that we really can't play. As soon as it started to become like black people are buying houses in large numbers and we are trying to close this gap in home ownership rates, now you got all this corporate foolishness coming to the blackest city with the most money, the highest black dollar value. They coming down here buying up everything so we can't buy them. Why do y'all think that is? Because it was starting to become in style for us to buy houses. Which, like I said last week, I don't just want stuff to be in style. I want it to be regular for us. However, home buying, I wasn't mad at that trend because that's actually something that you're going to deal with long term. So even when it's not cool no more, you still will have had the house that you bought in that time when it was trendy. You feel what I'm saying? So man, listen, I don't think it's a coincidence that in the era of black people and preaching financial literacy and home ownership, I don't think it's a coincidence that these companies came to the blackest city in the blackest wealthy city in the country and start buying up everything. I don't think that's an accident. Sorry. Never gonna think it's an accident. I think it's deliberate. Right? Minimum requirements, my people. Things that you heard your friends do 5 to 10 years ago, That's not possible anymore in 2024. You have to deal with 3 companies that own 19,000 single family homes. It's a whole different ballgame. Remember, I did the segment a couple months ago about the senators out west trying to ban institutional investors from owning more than 100 properties. This is the reason they were trying to do that. And I was telling y'all how good of an initiative that was. Right? What else are we looking at here? Okay. Now, when you buy a home, and the reason why I said you never, your budget should never be at the top of your loan approval. When you get a house, the mortgage amount that you start out paying on day one will undoubtedly not be the same in a year or two. It's not even a question. Your insurance is going to go up. If nothing else goes up, I guarantee your insurance is going up. Insurance is one of those things that they kind of make changes, and they can make changes every single time you renew. Right? It's not like other things. It's like insurance, they change often. Insurance goes up. Like my insurance went up a lot. I think my first year, because what they do is they try to rope you in with that because they could tell, they know it's a brand new house because, when they interview you about, hey, what do you need? What type of quote you need? You tell them, hey, I'm buying a new house and I need a quote for this. So they rope you in with that first price. That first price will never be the second price. When you go to renew it the next year, it's never going to be that. When I got this house, the first quote they gave me was like $1,200. Like $1,200. Same exact house. $1,200. For insurance, I'm saying for the whole year. Right now, it's $2,300. And I shopped around for that. That's the cheaper one now. $2,300. And it was $1,200 my first year in this house. That's what's going to happen. So it is paramount. You cannot buy a house at the max budget of your loan. At the max loan amount that they approved you for. Can't do it. This is from me to you. You can't do that. Come way down. Also, repairs happen. I know people that have brand new houses that things happened in the brand new house that they had to fix like shortly after they moved in. You have to plan for that type of stuff. You can do the warranty stuff. You can do all that. But sometimes something needs to be fixed urgently and immediately. You don't want to be house poor where you can't afford to do anything inside your house because all your money is going to your mortgage. So you have to come down from that freaking max loan amount. You just can't do it. Let me tell you another one of my situations. Again, I got the crib. The county that I'm in did a new tax assessment, right? Because the pandemic, houses change value so much. So counties, they don't do assessments like yearly or nothing like that. They do them when they feel like there's a significant change in the values of the cribs around their houses. I said cribs, but in the homes, right? So my area did a new assessment last year, right? My taxes increased year over year, $2,000. So while it was already high, which I consider to be high, it was already $4,000 a month. $4,000 a year for tax. I'm talking about just taxes. $4,000 a year for taxes. It's now like $6,200, something like that. Now, if you do the math, that's like $500 a month in just taxes alone. That's something that you gotta be ready for when you buying. At buying time, you gotta assume that you made a smart decision, that you bought a house that's going to increase in value. That's what I did. I bought a house that I knew would increase in value. Right? Because I think I'm good at choosing houses. I bought a house I knew would increase in value. I bought a house that I knew was going to give me some equity. So I had to know that tax increases was going to come with that. That's how they gentrify people. When they increase them taxes because the values is up and then you can no longer afford it because you done maxed out your budget on buying a house. Now you can't even afford it no more. They get people up out of there. But that's why I like this where I live at now. This is the black people that they can't gentrify. Because I live in Fulton County. Taxes are high as hell. See what I'm saying? I'm not saying that black people everywhere in Fulton County. I'm saying the part of Atlanta that I live in, these black people have been living over here, mansions and all that, since all these houses been built in the 90s. They've been here the whole time. You see what I'm saying? So my taxes increased last year by $2,000 and it was already high. So now I'm paying $500 a month in taxes alone. Right? That's something that you got to account for when it's time to buy a house. You got to make sure you do not go to the max budget of your loan. Come way down. I'm telling you, all this stuff is going to come up. Your insurance is going to go up and your taxes will change if you chose the right house. I know a lot of times we say like we want lower taxes. You do want lower taxes, but you also want your taxes to reflect the value of your home. If you paying $700 a year in taxes, that means your house ain't worth nothing. You don't want a house that's not worth anything. You want a house that's worth a lot. The more your house is worth because you chose properly, the more you have to pay in taxes. That's just how it's going to go. You see what I'm saying? And now, some stuff that you can do is choose different areas. That's how you get around, that's how you kind of mitigate some of these price issues. So let's just say your preferred area is, I know some people make choices based on schools, that's a big one. But let's say your preferred area is Fulton County, but you know that the taxes are high. You know that that's going to cost you about $400 a month in taxes, right? Maybe you go a little bit further out west and you go to Douglasville. It is outside of Fulton County, but let's say you go to Douglasville. Now your tax is only $200 a month. You know what I'm saying? Your tax is $2,400 a year instead of $4,500 a year. Right? I don't know if y'all I'm sure a lot of y'all realize it, but even just $200 a month in mortgage, that's significant. That's a whole nother bill that you can cover with that. Because when you come to areas that cost more money, that taxes is something that's just never going away. You can't pay that off. It's always going to be there every year. You got to pay it. You see what I'm saying? So, that's how you can kind of help with so you can get, let's say if you got a $400,000 budget, you spend $400,000 in Fulton County. It's not going as far as if you spend $400,000 in Douglasville and cheaper taxes. So you probably get a bigger house. Right? Not probably. You for sure get a bigger house. Probably newer house, all that. So that's how you kind of get around this type of stuff. If we got probably some people that watch, that listen from my hometown, Youngstown. So if you've been approved for $125,000 and you say, I'm going to get not $125,000, let's say you got approved for $200,000, right? $200,000, and you're like, no, I want to live in Canfield. But when you start searching for houses, you're going to see that Canfield's houses cost a lot more money than that. A lot of the ones that you would want probably. So now you might have to make a decision like, maybe I can deal with Hubbard. Maybe. Those are the type of compromises you got to make to secure your financial future. You know what I'm saying? I know that's a completely different world. Like if you want to live in Canfield, you definitely don't want to live in Hubbard. But if you want to own a home, those are the type of decisions that you're going to have to make. You're going to have to say, if I'm in Atlanta, all right, because me at first, I was looking in Decatur. I was looking in Decatur, Georgia, because I like the east side. Decatur's, you know what I'm saying? That's where we was living for a minute. I was looking over there, but their taxes was high. The home prices was high. Like they gentrified crazy over there. And a lot of the houses was old. You see what I'm saying? They didn't, so I had to search far and wide. I'm all the way on the west side now. I'm about as far from Decatur as Canfield is from Hubbard. That's the type of compromise that you got to make when choosing the right home is the priority, right? Not choosing a dream house, choosing the right house. To me, the right house is the house that I can get in, I can live in, and it's going to increase in value to give me equity. That's the right house to me, right? So I just need everybody who's, far and wide, whether you're black, whether you're white, whether you're Latino, whether you're Asian, whether you're Native American, whether you're Indian, whether you are whatever you are. If you're buying a house in America, pay attention to what I'm telling you. Do not max out that budget. No more dream house talk. Not in 2024. That's out. No more dream house. Minimum requirements. That's it. And you build from there. So everything above that is above and beyond, and you're happy. Minimum requirements. That's the word of the day. That's the term of the day. Minimum requirements. Okay?